Hey creepies, welcome back once again. This week coming to you from Monster Toy Corner. Yeah, a little more specific than just Mask Fan Addict. Tonight we're in, or today I should say, we're in Monster Toy Corner for your viewing pleasure, just so you'll have something a little different to see in the background now and again. And well, our fantastically cool latex creation this week is none other than one of my all-time favorite Carol Hicks sculptures. It's Boris Karloff. Certainly one of the finest, if not the finest, actors ever to work in scary movies. Now, this particular version of Boris Karloff, Old Age Boris Karloff, officially, was, as I have previously mentioned, sculpted by Carol Hicks, who, in case you don't know who Carol is, she sculpted quite a few really impressive mask editions over the years. Carol is my wife Laura's sister, so Carol is my sister-in-law, you see. And she sculpted this. How did that ever come about? Well, in 1997, glad you asked by the way, in 1997, Sarah Karloff, Boris Karloff's daughter, happened to be a guest at a horror convention where Laura and I were guests as well, and we just happened to end up very close to her table, and we got to talking over the weekend, and we took some masks, and Sarah Karloff was very nice and very gracious about it and said how much she liked the masks, and we got to talking that maybe we should do an edition, blah blah blah. So around 1998, it took a year or so for this to all come to fruition. We came out with this edition based on Carol's fantastic sculpture of Old Age Boris Karloff. And well, our agreement was that we were going to make up to 100 of these, depending on you know, the demand. We were going to make up to 100. We never actually made it to 100. I believe we made it to somewhere around 68, 69, somewhere in there. But we never made a full 100. But there are about 68 or 69 of these in the known universe. Now this one that you see before you, if you're looking in the direction of your monitor, if you're looking right now, yeah, the one you see here is actually the first one out of the mold from 1998, I believe, when we first undertook this. And well, as such, you can see I painted all of these, by the way, and Laura, my wife, did the hair, and this is all done with real human hair. Not too common on most masks, but we did the Boris Karloff edition with real human hair. And I can see that, well, at the time I was given some stuff, some gloss, some shiny stuff to put on eyes and teeth and other parts of masks that are supposed to look wet to simulate the effect of moisture, you see. And I put that shiny stuff on the eyes, and wow, did it ever go dark on me. Now, the mask maker who provided me with that particular gloss coat product will remain nameless to avoid personal shame and embarrassment right now. But yeah, I should probably repaint those eyes, really, shouldn't I? Anyway, what a wonderful, wonderful mask this is. A lot of times when I'm painting these things, when they are likenesses, when you're painting a likeness of a person, a celebrity likeness, or a movie character, a lot of times when you're painting it, you realize some of the little curves and contours and things aren't really quite where they should be, and I wish the sculptor had made this a little bigger, the smaller, sharper, rounder, what have you, but not with Carol's Old Man Boris, which looks just so amazingly lifelike and realistic and perfect to me. It's kind of one of my favorite sculptures in the history of masks. Even though it isn't a monster, it's one of my favorite sculptures in terms of capturing a likeness, because it just looks so alive. And Sarah was very happy with it and said very, very nice things about us and about it, and I think everybody that got one was pretty happy with it. Now, in addition to this version you see here, which is just straight up Old Man Boris, which basically looks like he looked in the movie Die Monster Die. Remember that one? Yeah. Also looks a lot like he looked in movies like from around that period, such as The Raven and The Terror And what's another one? What's another Boris Karloff comedy of terrors? Yeah, this kind of has that look. Or like when he was hosting Thriller, the TV series, the anthology spooky show Thriller. This sort of looks like Boris hosting Thriller. Now, we wanted to have some sort of a special certificate come with these. They were, going to be numbered, and we were going to have a certificate. I didn't even have a computer in 1997-98, and another guest at that same convention where we met Sarah happened to be none other than Mel Wells, the actor who played Gravis Mushnick, the flower shop owner in the original 1960 Little Shop of Horrors. Remember Gravis Mushnick? Well, he was there, and he was a great guy. I loved Mel Wells. He's one of the coolest celebrities that I think I ever met. But anyway, I miss Mel. He was so much fun, and he was such an interesting guy. There was a lot more to him than it appeared from watching his performances, But anyway, Mel Wells was there, and I said, I guess we could have something printed up. And Mel said, hey, I have a computer, and I know how to do all that stuff, and you want me to do a certificate for you? I'll print something up. And I was like, well, sure. That sounds good. Never let it be said that I passed up an opportunity to get out of some work. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, fine, okay. So Mel Wells came up with, he designed the certificate himself, and these were sent to us. And before they came here, they were sent to Sarah Karloff, and they look like this. And these were actually printed by Mel Wells, the flower shop owner from Little Shop of Horrors. These were printed by Mel Wells in his house on his personal computer and printer in 1998, I believe. And they were signed first by Sarah Karloff. Each one was signed, and then they were sent here. And then when we would send the mask out, they were also signed by me and by Laura. Not Laura, Carol, pardon me. Laura should have signed them too, because she did such great hair work on them, but it didn't happen that way. The way it worked out, they were only signed by Sarah Karloff, Carol Hicks, and me. But really, Laura should have gotten a signature on there too. And on the back, it is marked Sarah Karloff, Karloff Enterprises, a Dr. Lady mask, etc. And let me see if there's anything else of interest on there. Well, the hair is covering it, and I'm not going to pull the hair up. I could look at another copy. I could cast one up and look at, but that's good enough that you know that much of what's on there, right? Now, in addition to this version, back up a little, we also made available an alternate version, which was based on Boris's appearance as the Wordalak in that segment of the 1963 excellent Mario Bava Italian horror anthology, Black Sabbath, which inspired the name of the band, Black Sabbath, by the way. But the movie, Black Sabbath, was indeed an anthology consisting of 3 stories, and one of them was called The Wordalak, and it's a Russian type of vampire. And Boris in that had a bushier mustache and curly white hair and a little bit pale paint job, whereas this one, his skin naturally was pretty dark, rather dark, so he was dark complexioned as a mask, but the Wordalak was painted a little lighter because he was sort of a, he was a vampire, basically. He was a dead old Boris Karloff, and actually that was the only time Boris Karloff ever played a vampire in his long career of scary movies and playing villains and boogeymen and mad scientists and all. And with a little imagination, a little bit of a stretch, this could even be Neiman from House of Frankenstein, although this looks a little older than Karloff did when he played Neiman in House of Frankenstein. This could pass for that. Mad scientist, don't you think? Yeah, but anyway, enough of your time has been wasted today, I think. I just thought I would share with you the curious little history of the limited edition Old Age Boris Karloff mask as sculpted by Carol Hicks. And that's all I have to say about it. Aren't you glad? Join me here again next time for more scariness.